Ready? Welcome to the Stogie Geek Show, episode 109. This episode is sponsored by Mr. J's Havana Smoke Shop, located here in Rhode Island. They have an outstanding selection of premium handmade cigars. And by the Havana Cigar Club, located in Warwick, Rhode Island. It's a great place to enjoy a drink and a cigar. Stogie Geeks listeners can find a $5 off coupon on our website by clicking the HCC logo. And by Debonair Cigars. Visit stogiegeeks.com/debonair for a list of retailers who carry Debonair. Buy some today and get a little more Debonair. And by Ocean State Cigars. Try the J Grotto series, including the Connecticut Shade Silk and limited edition J Grotto Reserva lines. Visit them on the web at oceanstatecigars.com. Welcome, everyone, to this edition of the Stogie Geek Show. I'm your host, Paul Asadorian, joined by none other than Stogie Santa to my right.
Good evening, everybody. And there's no one on my right.
There is no one on your right. There's no one on my left either, so it's
All
just
right.
us. On the lines via Skype, though, we've got Mr. Will Cooper.
Greetings, everybody.
Good to have you on, Coop,
Same here.
as always. And what do you say, before we introduce our special guest, that we go through a couple things here and talk about our smoke of the week?
Sure.
I am smoking the is it Leccia or Lucia?
Lucia.
Lucia. That's what I thought it was.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right either.
I think it's Lucia.
Is it?
Sa-
Okay.
okay.
We'll go with that. Sounds good for me.
Lucia Tobacco Black is the second blend to be released by Sam Lucia's Lucio Tobacco Company, as Will wrote. There's a lot of Lucia in there. So there's the black and the white. I'm smoking the black. It was Sam Lucia's comeback cigar, right? And it's one of the first major releases of fire-cured tobacco.
Yeah.
A little bit about the blend. It's a Habano wrapper, a Nicaraguan Rosado binder. The fillers Nicaraguan Ligero, Dominican Ligero, Brazilian Viso, and a fire-cured leaf called Dark Fire.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have to say, when I sniffed the foot of this cigar, I wanted to cry, basically. I let production assistant Nick do the same thing, and he also wanted to cry. So I was kind of scared lighting it up. I smoked the one from Drew Estate, right? Has the fire cured,
KFC,
Kentucky fire cured, and the flavor in the smoke had that real fire cured flavor,
Very
which is
smoky.
unmistakable, right? Very smoky, like your like smoked brisket, which is scrumptious, by the way. But this, when I smoked it, I'm like, oh, it's going to be this fire cured thing. It's going to overwhelm my senses. I'm not going to be able to taste anything. That's all I'm going to taste for the next 3 days. This is not like that at all.
No.
Have you smoked this one?
Yes.
Yeah, it's very, very good. It's a good cigar. It hints of that fire cured, but it's very well balanced. I think he did the right amount of fire cured tobacco in his cigars. So far, so good. I'm smoking what is probably the 552. This looks like a 5x52
Yep.
Robusto.
To me, too.
I think we're all three are smoking because I split up my black too. So I think we all went with the black tonight.
No,
Oh, I got the white.
yeah.
Oh, you got the white.
Yeah.
Okay, so the white's not the fire cured.
Correct.
You want to hear?
Yep.
So the white is an African sun-grown wrapper, Ecuadorian binder, Nicaraguan Ligero, and Pennsylvania Seco fillers. It looks like you're smoking the 5x52
yeah.
as well.
I had this one before. It smoked like last time. I got that little white pepper right off the top. So it's performing like I had these cigars a while back. They're good cigars.
Will, anything else to you chose the smokes for this show, so did you want to kind of chime in with any? You've got full reviews of these on the cigar-coop.com site.
Right, and this was it's interesting because I haven't smoked this in a while, and I would agree that the fire cured note is not going to overpower this cigar. However, it is going to be very present in this cigar. So, much like any type of infusion, whether natural or not natural, anything that's kind of infusing on that tobacco profile is going to have a dominant note. So you're going to pick up this I called it more of a campfire note, but it's going to be present throughout, as you'll see, and I'm curious to see what your thoughts are with that. It's a little sweeter right now than I remember this, so it must have settled down quite a bit. One quick thing, I just want to thank the folks, just so folks know, this was a coincidence that we're doing the Lucia. We had this plan for a while, but Lucia is distributed by Tarano, who gave us these cigars, and folks that heard today, the news out of Tarano is they were acquired by General Cigars. So this was actually more of a timing thing than anything. We had this plan for several weeks right now, so thanks to those folks.
Yep, thanks.
Yeah.
Our pairing tonight is a red breast 12-year-old Irish whiskey. I took some stats from mastersofmalt.com. The distillery is Middleton Distillery. It's bottled by Irish distillers, and again, it's a 12-year-old whiskey, and it's a single pot still whiskey, and it's 40% alcohol by volume. I'll talk a little more about the single pot still and what that means. Mm-hmm. The description from the Middleton website, who's the distillery, says it's full of aroma and flavor. Redbreast 12-year benefits from a strong contribution of distillates which have matured in Oloroso sherry cask. Say that.
Oloroso.
That's where you get the sweetness from.
Oloroso.
It's a Rosso. And
It's
we
a
haven't
Oloroso.
started yet.
Sherry cask. So it's a sherry cask, giving its trademark Christmas cake character is how they describe it. Christmas cake.
Wow.
And we guys get...
And wait a minute. We think
we
we
get
got
crazy
issues?
on cigars, right?
Hey, you know something? That's what it is. That's what it is to them, right?
Yeah. I wonder what
true.
kind of
That's
frosting
true.
they put on their Christmas cake.
I don't know. It's
So the taste, according to the distillery, full flavored and complex, a harmonious balance of spicy, creamy, fruity, sherry, go figure, and toasted notes. The single pot still, which I know you're all just clamming at the bit to understand.
No, it is. It's
It is.
an
It's
interesting
interesting. It's
tidbit.
interesting.
It is.
It's a style of whiskey entirely unique to Ireland. The essential features of the single pot still is that the single malt whiskey is made entirely from malted barley. Single pot still whiskey is triple distilled from a mixture of both malted and unmalted green barley. This gives it a distinctive spicy, cereally flavor, often referred to as pot still character, and a rich, silky texture. Until recently, single pot still whiskey was known as pure pot still. In 2011, this term was changed to single pot still to comply with the UK and US labeling regulations. This particular single pot still whiskey we're drinking won some awards. In 2013, Jim Murray's Whiskey Bible rated it a score of 96. And in 2012, Whiskey Advocate named it the Irish Whiskey of the Year. It sells for approximately $50 per bottle. That's a 750 milliliter bottle, which I will hold up for the camera here. You can find this in most places now. It's actually becoming a lot more popular. I see it in more places here. I find this to be a very versatile spirit, pairing well with different types of cigars. I like smoking something a little on the spicy side with this
now,
spirit.
just curious. Now, with the fire cure?
So far, so good. Check back with me in a little bit.
Right.
I'm still trying to get this fire cure.
That is one of
thing
the,
going.
if not one of the best, or the top 2 or 3 of my
Irish
whiskeys.
whiskeys. For sure.
Smooth, and like I said, that sherry cask brings out that softness to our palate. Okay, let's not forget about our guest here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Let's not
One
go
more
any
note.
farther.
One more note on the spirit. So StokeyGeeks.com/libations is a new blog that we put up there. I documented everything I just said in there, and we have a new rating system. Mark Jr. has to further define this. I'm pretty sure that a number 4 is you buy a bottle. I called it a buy it. So for $50, if you enjoy whiskey or scotch even, I would say give this a shot.
That's more than that.
Yeah, 50. And
This
it
is-
varies.
Okay, I don't know what our rating
Do
is.
you know what the price of the
by the
store
way, the
is?
5 I want to be the Dean Martin rating. We'll talk about that
Yeah,
later.
we'll get with that. That's a story for another time.
Okay.
We at our store, that's what it is. It's $50, right?
Okay.
But again, for $50, this kind of Irish whiskey this is not, and no knock on Jameson, But this as our phrase that we have here in Stogie Geeks, it's the bell of the ball, and they go up to like $200 on their 25-year-old, and they have a 15-year-old.
I think I did the 15-year-old. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what, for the money.
Yeah, exactly. I'll take the 15.
Yeah.
Oh, the 12. I mean 12 rather.
Yeah, I'll take the 12 all day long.
Yep.
I like to put just a couple of cubes in mine. Mm-hmm. I don't like to kill it in ice, but I like to put like 1 or 2 cubes in it.
Yep.
It makes it perfect. Okay.
All right.
Will, would you like to do the honors of introducing our guest?
Yeah, so we have none other than Eric, who basically a lot of folks known as Master Sensei or the Cigar Dojo. And he runs a very, very interesting online social media community / media enterprise, I'm going to call it, called the Cigar Dojo. And become a good friend of his over the past year. And Eric, welcome to the Stogie Geeks. Glad to have you on.
Well, thank you guys, and I'm honored to be on the show. I'm really glad that you guys were able to squeeze me in. I appreciate that very much. So thank you.
So Eric, tell us a little bit about the Cigar Dojo. What's unique about your website as opposed to others, as we say in product marketing? What's your differentiators?
Well, our website is just a blog like any other cigar blog. There's no difference there. What's different about us is our app, and it's basically like, it's called the Cigar Dojo, and it's essentially like Facebook or Twitter, except for it's only cigars, and so it's extremely fast-moving. There's a lot going on every hour of the day on the dojo. It's free. On an iPhone or Android, you just download it at the iTunes or Google Play, and so once you download it, you fire it up, and there's thousands of guys on there smoking cigars, just hanging out, posting images, talking about what they like and dislike, and so on. And there's other stuff too. There's a shop locator and a bunch of other stuff. But the main thing is the social aspect of it, and so that's really what is our differentiator.
Is the I like the shop locator aspect of your app. Is that something that you input the data for, or is that something that the community that's using the app can also have input on?
Initially, it was we allowed the community to input stuff because here's what we did. We could have imported like all of the data from Foursquare or Google, but all of that data has like liquor stores and some other stuff, anything that sells cigars. We wanted a hand-edited list of just cigar shops and cigar lounges that guys like you guys are into. So there's, you're going to find that it's really just the main cigar shops and cigar lounges. And now that we got most of them input, we just now we curate it ourselves so that we don't get a lot of crazy entries. And then when people want something added, we just add it for them. But we're pretty close to having all the really good, shop lounges in it.
So Eric, tell us about some of the technology. Do you have a background in technology? Like, what's your background?
Actually, I'm a wizard. So no, we pay a development company to do this, and so they're partners with us, and in a way. And but yeah, no, I'm not. I'm a graphics guy. I do marketing and consulting in that field. So no, I'm not.
That doesn't surprise me, because the banner behind you and your shirt with the logo is all very well done. Very nice job on that.
Thank you. That's what, we get lots of comments on that, so I appreciate that you saying that. It just really worked out good. When we were trying to find a domain name, as you guys probably know.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to find a domain name with the word cigar in it. Mm-hmm. And Jordan, one of our staff members, came up with Cigar Dojo, and then it just all sort of fell in line from there.
Did you do the artwork yourself?
I did. I do all the art.
Nice.
And all that kind of stuff.
Excellent. Eric, so tell us what you're smoking and drinking tonight.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll start with what I'm drinking. See, because since I'm an American, I drink bourbon. I don't drink any of that other stuff. No, I'm just drinking some ITs, but I'm a bourbon guy. And tonight I'm just drinking some, it's just some cheap some just cheap bourbon. It's actually from Costco. It's made by the same guys that make Knob Creek, but they make it for Costco. And so it's super cheap. It's like 17, 18 bucks, and it's pretty darn good. So if you're in a Costco, pick up a bottle of Kirkland bourbon. I'm only recommending it because it's a good cheap bourbon. I wouldn't say it's a great bourbon, but it's a good cheap bourbon.
Very cool. And what are you smoking?
Are you guys into bourbon at all?
Oh,
we love
absolutely.
bourbon. Yeah,
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm a bourbon nut. So yeah. I'm smoking. This is our upcoming cigar that we're working on. This is the unbanned. Well, it's got a temporary band on it, but the press release for this will be out soon, maybe as early as next week. I'm not sure. It's a cigar that we're working on with Eric Espinosa. So we wanted something really cool to follow up the Underground Dogma, and then of course the Nunchuck, which was a cigar dedicated to the dojo community. We weren't really involved in the cigar making itself like we were with the Dogma. So this is really our follow-up to the Dogma, and we'll be announcing the name and the price and where you can buy it in a press release in the next week or two.
Very cool.
Yeah, I had the privilege. Sensei gave me one in Las Vegas, and it's very good. Very, very good.
Thank you. I can tell you that it's a San Andreas Maduro wrapper. I can't tell you anything else, but I can tell you that what we really wanted to accomplish with this cigar was something that was super full flavored and evolved as you smoke it. That was like the things that we set out to do. We wanted. I wasn't looking just to make the next super strong cigar. I wanted a cigar that had a lot of flavor and it was really interesting, so that by the time you got halfway done with it, it would change and become something else. So we went to Eric and we said, can this be done? And of course, Eric is an expert at full flavored sticks, and so he was the perfect guy to work with on this project. So I think that folks are going to find that it really evolves as you smoke it. That was one of the main goals, and so hopefully you guys will dig it when it comes out.
Yeah, and people know I'm not the biggest fan of San Andreas, and I thought that was very, very good, that cigar. So, yeah, I think you're right on the money of what you were looking to do.
Good. Thanks, Coop. We had a good time in Vegas hanging out with you. I know that was fun.
Man, this guy threw a party in Vegas that was great. I mean, he had people from all over the country come to this party, and I'm not just saying this because they're on the show, but there were people who flew in from, I think, way outside of Vegas. I mean, they took planes out there to go to this party. So you've really built that community. I've seen it very strong, and the way you use that technology at the trade show to get information out to the community was really cutting edge. I think it was, you kind of took it to another level.
Thank you, Cooper. Yeah, what was cool about that was we were at the show, and there was a lot of people there for the IPCPR, but our party, we had guys coming from as far as England and Australia, not to come to IPCPR. They weren't even retailers or manufacturers. They just came that far just to come to the party. So we were really blessed, and we were thankful of that. And the big thing with the dojo is that we're really proud of is we have a focus and a mission to be a positive community with fellowship and supporting one another and not ripping on each other. I mean, guys have fun and stuff, but the main thing is the fellowship and having a good time and being positive. And I hope that sort of separates us, from some of the other places that can get a little mean at times. So that's sort of our niche, is being a positive community.
Very much so. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, no, that's important. I work in computer security, and there are, a lot of guys that run like communities like you do, Eric, except on the security side, and a lot of them have different philosophies. And the communities that are fun to hang around with are the guys that have the attitude of, well, like the really only rule in my community is don't be an asshole. Like that's the number one rule.
That's like in life, I would imagine.
Yeah. Well, and that's like, don't smoke cigars around people like that either. So.
Right.
So, Eric, what are some of your go-to cigars?
Some of my go-to cigars, I'm a big fan of Espinosa. I already said that. I don't know, have you guys had the new Laranja? It's really good.
I haven't yet.
If you haven't had it, get
very
that. Anything
different than anything
Espinosa, I'm a
Eric's
big
done.
fan
It's
of.
good though.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Ortega Serie D Natural. I think that's a great stick. It's one of my favorite. I go to that cigar a lot. I love the La Jugada Habano, which is also made at La Zona. But like when I get really going, I'm a huge fan of La Polina stuff. I'm a huge fan of Padron, like a lot of people are. But hey, they're really good. What can you say? I mean, I think the Natural number 9, 1926 Anniversario is probably my favorite cigar in the world. The Natural. A lot of people like the Maduro, which is great too. But I just think there's something more interesting about that Natural. So those are some of my favorites.
What are some of the best cigars you've smoked this year?
Well, the Dojo Underground Dogma was one of the best cigars I've smoked this year. I don't know if you guys have had the new Lancero version of the Goldie from La Polina. Incredible. I know this is kind of strange, but I've talked to guys that aren't big on the Jericho Hill. I really like the Jericho Hill. I thought it was really good. And I also love the new Surrogate Satin Glove. I thought that was an outstanding cigar.
I haven't had that one yet. Did
I
you
haven't
guys
had
smoke
that one
at the
yet
show?
either.
Yeah, I had that. That was very good. Yeah, Casey gave me that at the show.
Eric,
sort
when
of-
you said the
it's
Goldie,
sort-
have you
it's
smoked any of the other sizes of the Goldie?
Oh, yeah. I've had them all. I like the Lancero the best.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I like the Petite Lancero the best, actually.
What about you, Coop? Oh, yeah? Yeah. I thought that Lancero was just right up my alley. It was perfect.
In terms of boutique releases, Eric, what are some of the ones that you think are hot out there now?
Well, I had recently had the Maya Silva. Is that how you say that, Cooper? The Maya Silva?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just smoked that too. We're actually going to talk about that later on the show, but yeah, very good.
I like the light one. I wasn't a huge fan of the Maduro version of it, but the
Connecticut.
the natural version of it or whatever, I thought was outstanding. What else, Jordan, have we had that's recent? Trying to think. Well, I already brought up I don't know if you call the Satin Glove I guess that's a boutique style cigar. It's a little bit larger than that, but that's one that we mentioned already. But it's sort of a lot like the 1964, the Padron 1964. Sort of similar flavor profile to that, which I thought was really good. Crux. Hey, yeah, that's another one. Have you guys tried that Nymphomaniac Crux?
Yep.
That was a good stick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's a couple. What? Yeah, there's a couple Black Label Trading Company ones that I think are pretty decent.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So there's a few.
I'll
what
throw-
about you?
I'll
What
throw
about
one
you
to you,
guys?
Eric, because I know you kind of steered me to these guys a bit. The Crussier.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh. I can't talk enough about Santana and the DeCrozier. I mean, the new Lafort is amazing. It's a little stronger, but my favorite of all of those is just the good old golden blend. That something about that, the way he does it. He says it's Costa Rican tobacco. I know they make them in Costa Rica. I don't really know where the tobacco comes from, but wherever it comes from, it's phenomenal. But it's, I've been getting into the milder sticks lately. For a while, I was just like Maduros and strength and just give me the strongest stuff. But now I'm sort of searching around for more subtle flavors lately. Maybe in the wintertime that changes. I don't know. You know how your tastes change throughout the year.
So, Eric, you did a pretty interesting take on the top 10 cigars of 2013. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so what we've been doing the last couple years is, there's so many cigar lists, and we were trying to differentiate our list from other lists. And so what we've done the last 2 years was we limited it to obviously only cigars that are made in are available in the States, and only cigars that are in wide release that you could actually find very likely at your local brick and mortar, as well as only cigars that are less than $10. And the reason we did that, we sort of called it like the Joe six-pack, top 10 list. And that way, we hope that with our list, and there's nothing wrong with any list, But we hope that with our list, guys could take it and actually go out and buy the sticks, find them and buy them relatively easy so they could try them. I know when I first started smoking cigars, I'd read the lists, like, the top cigars, and 9 out of 10 times I couldn't even get my hands on it, or it was, $28 or something. So I always wanted a list that was a little bit more accessible to just an average knucklehead like myself.
No, that's cool. That's a great idea, actually.
So I don't know what we'll do this year, if we'll expand it a little bit maybe. We like to try to mix it up a bit, but we'll probably keep some of those rules in place because that's kind of defines what we do.
So tell us a little bit about the Undercrown Dogma. How did that project come about?
Well, it's funny. That was a project between me and Jonathan Drew and Abe from Smoke Inn.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
No, I just got a word from KC about when the satin glove's going to be shipping next week.
Nice.
Slow boat from Nicaragua.
Sorry, Eric, you were
sorry.
saying?
My
That's
bad.
okay?
My bad. Excuse me. That's being
Didn't you
ignorant.
buy a box? No. I know that there's some of them are out there. We bought a box recently, so they're around. The Dogma. So, yeah, it was me and Jonathan and Abe, and we just decided, Jonathan Drew really likes the dojo community because it's a real positive community, and he thought that was really cool. So he wanted to do something for us, and we love Smoke Inn because I've done a lot of stuff with Abe, and I just like the way they handle things, and their customer service is awesome. So it was just a perfect combination. So we got together, and we said, okay, maybe we'll do something with the Nika Rustica, maybe we'll do something this. And it turned out that Jonathan would like to do something with the Undercrown, so they sent us a whole bunch of samples, and the idea was we were going to do the very first box pressed. It was really a soft press, but we were going to do the very first box pressed cigar that they ever made. And so, besides like the Java, I'm talking about a regular cigar. And so that's the way we went. So we picked, we really just got to pick the size of it and the fact that it was essentially the Corona Viva blend. And the whole process took it literally took from the day we decided to do this thing to the day it was released. It took exactly 1 calendar year to the day, just by accident, just by chance. And there was 650 bundles made. And we sold 200 bundles the first day, and then we had to wait for a while to get the rest of the bundles. And then those sold out in 2.5 hours. The entire rest of it sold in 2.5 hours. In fact, Smoke Inn says this is a world record. I don't know if it's true or not, but in 4 minutes we sold 170 bundles of those things. Yeah.
Now, a lot of that, you did a great job at promoting that on your community. There were people really buzzed about that. So, you guys did a great job getting that word out.
Yeah, thank you. Obviously, with when you're working with somebody like Drew Estate, it's much easier because they have such a huge following. And so we're not dumb enough to think that will happen every time. But, yeah, it went really, really well. We were super excited. And the cigar was received very well, and it was just gorgeous to look at. Of all the Undercrowns, that's definitely probably the most photogenic one of all of them. It's a gorgeous stick, and so it was a super fun project. I wish we could do that every month, but it was a one-time shot, and it was a lot of fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you also did the La Jugada Nunchuck. Now, you said you weren't as hands-on with that particular project?
Yeah, what was cool about the Nunchuck was this. The guys at Moya Ruiz, Danny and Nelson, they're huge fans of the dojo. In fact, Nelson is on there every night pretty much. He's a regular. He's a great guy. And they started about the same time we started, at least the app. The app started about the same time Moya Ruiz started. And so they just loved the dojo, and we liked their products. I was a huge fan of the Habano. Blew me away. I thought it was a fantastic cigar. And so they came to us and said, hey, you know what? We want to make this cigar in homage to the dojo community because we're so appreciative of all the support we've got. A lot of, brick and mortar guys would come to them and say, hey, I heard about you guys on the dojo. I want your cigar in our shop. And so they were appreciative of that and said, hey, let's do a cigar sort of in homage to you guys. That's why I had the nunchuck theme, which they completely came up with on their own. And it was hilarious. And did all the packaging. Now, on the inside of the package, there's a little paragraph about the dojo, which is really cool. So while we were involved in that, it was really them doing the cigar, for the dojo community.
Very cool.
It was a good cigar too. It had a lot more strength to it than some of the other La Jugadas.
Oh yeah, it was. Hey, that is a amazingly strong cigar. Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
One of the strongest sticks you'll smoke for sure. But it's got flavor too. I mean, everything that comes out of La Zona has got a lot of flavor. Those guys always add the secret herbs and spices.
Will, you had some questions for Eric regarding the FDA and Cigar Media as well. So
Yeah. So Eric, I'll kind of start off. I'll ask three questions. The first one is, the FDA. Obviously, it is breathing down our necks right now. I think everyone knows right now that we went through a comment period. Crystal ball, Eric. How do you think this thing's gonna kind of settle out?
Well, here's the deal, guys. I live in Colorado, right? And in Colorado, they're head over heels to legalize pot. Now it's just recreational. You can buy marijuana in a vending machine in Colorado. I'm not kidding. Yet they want to outlaw cigars. So really what it is it's a slap in the face to the lifestyle, the cigar lifestyle. That's what they really hate. It's the cigar lifestyle. Everything about cigars is celebratory. It's golf. I'm having a baby. It's all the things that liberals can't stand. So forget about Republican and Democrat. I'm not going to preach about that. Just don't vote for liberals who want to take away your rights. Those are the guys you want to vote out. I don't care what letter is in front of their name, D or R. Vote those idiots out of office, and maybe we'll be able to continue to enjoy cigars and guns and all the things that Americans like to do, like bourbon. Who knows? This could be next.
It was funny, Eric, because we had Glenn Loop on the show a couple months ago, and most of the cigar community, again, not getting political, but a lot of them, tend to lean a little more Republican. And I mentioned the fact that I had heard that Harry Reid was kind of working some back channels, helping us out, and Glenn Loop kind of opened up on that, saying, pretty much that's going on right now. And again, they're not looking to put that D or the R there. This is about trying to save the industry. So, absolutely true.
Right, and like I said, that's why I don't, I don't want to I don't want to be a guy that says, "Hey, Republican," because I've seen a lot of Republicans do some stupid things and take away our rights. So when you're voting, find people that are in your area. I don't care if they're judges or state senators or state representatives or presidents. Just find the guys that still believe that there's America out there and that we should have a certain degree of freedom. And those are the people you should vote for, regardless of party.
Right, I agree. Now, Eric, we were talking before the show, actually, and we talked a little at the beginning. Today they announced that Charlie Tarano had sold his brands to General.
Right.
And I kind of looked at that, and I'm saying, could this be the first of these dominoes to start to fall with the boutiques right now? In terms of, there's got to be the timing just seems very. This is a family that was in the business for 98 years, and now they're not in the business anymore. Do you think? I mean, do you think that this is something we could see coming down the pike right now?
Well, I don't know. That's kind of a weird one because I don't know if I don't even know if they're in the boutique realm, But it is odd. I mean, how will that affect, Sam Lucia and the cigars you guys are smoking tonight? I don't know. I mean, that could be the thing. Here's the thing that's annoying is the really big cigar companies, right? Those are the guys, they could probably absorb this FDA garbage. So they're not going to fight as hard as the boutique guys, obviously. So I'm hoping that these dominoes don't start to fall like you just said, because if they did, it would be devastating. Because I think that the big guys would just look at this as, hey, we can sell cigars for $10 a piece. We can handle this. We've got brands that have been around long enough that we won't need FDA approval on. So, we'll just sort of maybe turn a blind eye to it. I hope that doesn't happen, but it makes me nervous.
But that being said, people, I think it's the community itself as cigar smokers is most important. You go into some of your B&Ms, and here I am, I'm a manager of a cigar store. I go in my back room, less than half of the people on a CRA are not even part of the association itself.
Right.
And point number two, we waited too long dragging our feet to even get representation. We should have had this 10 years ago or longer.
That's a good point. That
we're reactive.
Yeah,
right. We're reactive. Mm-hmm. We didn't go proactive. Look at the liquor industry. They did this a long time ago. That's why they'll never be touched. Never. That will never get to the liquor end. Never.
That's a great point. Yeah, you're
know?
right.
It truly is. It makes me really upset to realize the people will turn around and whenever what's hopefully, like you said, that won't be that. But if it does come down to that $10, which is I think it's crazy because MSRP is the stupid way to go. But anyway, if it ever came to that, it will be like you said before, taking away another right. Now look, how did it happen? Well, open your eyes. It's that simple. Don't be so stupid.
Right.
Absolutely.
All these neat cigars that we do, the Cigar Federation came out with a really good cigar that I enjoyed. Blessed Leaf came out with a cigar that I really enjoyed. We've done a couple now. All that's done if this goes through. There won't be any of that. In fact, I'm not even sure that having an app like the Dojo would be legal anymore if this thing goes through. So, all the stuff we like to do, sit around here drinking bourbon, smoking cigars on a web show, this is our right to do this kind of stuff, and it's in real jeopardy. I don't think people realize it's in real jeopardy.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Look at Australia. Remember? Look at that alone.
Yeah, we had Dave Burke on.
Dave Burke he painted a very grim picture of what happened in Australia.
I don't know.
Yep. So, Eric, I'll ask you one more question. You just recently, congratulations, you were just named to the Cigar Media Association board. Kind of, what do you think how would you think online media right now is positioned in the cigar industry? If you think, obviously it's a good presence. You've changed it. Whether you realize it or not, you've definitely changed it for what you've done. What's your opinion of the current state of cigar media right now?
I think, Coop, there's a new guard coming in. And guys like you, Coop, with your site and the Stogie Geeks, there's a whole sort of new, fresh blood coming in. And it's a bit threatening to some of the old guard. So there's some resistance there. But ultimately, I think this probably happens in a lot of industries. I've been involved in online communities for 20 years now. So I'm sort of, I see both sides of it. I'm part of the old guard in some other sites, but I'm part of the new guard in the cigar world. But I love where the cigar world is going because the young guys.
Oh, we lost Eric.
I was calling Gary.
Were you really?
Yeah,
You're getting old. Can I have the ice, please?
Yeah. I don't know why he wasn't paying attention to me. I just wanted.
I thought there was some other Stogie geek named Gary on the show.
Yeah, fucking jerk.
Yeah.
Oh God! But when we get it back, this is where you think about it. This online presence.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's no, the point you made about the online presence. I'd like to know out of all the people on online presence are actually care about are enough to join the CRA as they you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's growing. Our rights. I'm telling you, it's really. I agree with he's saying. It's really in a dire straits. And what scares me more than anything else, when you have an appointees to these boards, they're not making the decisions. They're just carrying out what the execution is going to be.
Mm-hmm. Bingo. Bingo, when I see some media sites with big followings, basically, cynical of the CRA publicly, that just doesn't help.
No, you've seen that and heard that, and that does not help the cause, not at all. And it doesn't matter big or small, because the bottom line is the buying power of the public. The big companies may think they can withstand that, they won't. I disagree with that statement, because I'm going to tell you something. When it comes to a point where a cigar is set almost like prohibition, it's not going to work.
That's a good analogy of where we stand.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
the public opinion of smoking is
it's unbelievable. CVS turns around. That's one of our local pharmacies.
Did you notice that too?
Yeah,
I thought I was seeing things.
Yeah, they took all the tobacco products up, but they got more people hooked on prescription drugs.
Yeah.
Okay, hello, McFly. You know what I'm saying?
They removed all the tobacco products from their shelves.
And are they going to sell medical marijuana?
Do you know what they're clearing it out for? That exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you want to do what you want to do and you're not hurting anybody or somebody else, come on. And he made a great point. It's just that be responsible, and it doesn't matter if the D and R is in front of them. It's true. Vote for the person that's not going to take away your rights, and it's a good way of putting it. It really is.
Yep.
A great point.
Absolutely.
So, Eric, you were talking about Cigar Media as well, in kind of where you see that. Where do you see Cigar Media going, regulations aside?
Right.
I can't.
Well, I would hope that it's going in a direction where it's, who knows? I mean, if we don't attack this FDA thing, it might all just end abruptly and it'll be over. But the new guard that's coming in, that's getting pretty popular. I think there is a deep respect for the history of cigar hobby, and I think it has a bright future. The Cigar Media Association and the stuff that Cooper's doing that's where it's at. I mean, organizing and being together, having unity and not fighting against one another. That's really what's the most important thing right now.
Cool.
I hope.
So, Eric, are you ready to play 5 questions with Stogie Geeks?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
3 words to describe yourself.
Handsome, smart, and wise. I don't know. That was redundant.
If you were a serial killer, what would be your weapon of choice?
Oh. Pantyhose.
Dude, awesome. Get another glass of bourbon.
If you wrote a book about yourself, what would the title be?
The greatest man ever to walk the earth.
Yeah.
In the popular game of Ask Grabby Grabby, do you prefer to go first or second?
Oh, second. Totally.
If you could choose 2 celebrities to be your parents, who would they be? This question does require some thought, so thankfully Skype has given Eric time to think about this question as we get his Skype connection back.
This is not fair.
You got extra time.
Spontaneous.
I'm here.
Okay.
There you go.
Do you hear me?
Yes, we can.
2 celebrities be my parents. I'd say Jack Nicholson and Jack Nicholson and it's got to be somebody really hot. I can't think of any women that would be good. Who? All right, Scarlett Johansson.
There you go. Nice
There you go.
choice. Well, Eric, thank you very much for appearing on the Stogie Geek Show. Eric's site is cigardojo.com. You can visit that, check out the app. Eric, again, thank you very much for appearing on the Stogie Geek Show.
Thanks, Eric.
Yep.
Hey, thanks, guys. I really, really appreciate you having me on here. And we'll be with you guys 100% in the fight, man. We'll take these guys as far as we can go to save this hobby.
That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Love it.
All right, guys. We'll see you.
With that,
Take care, my friend.
we're going to take a short break, come back, and talk about our Stogies for the week. So don't go anywhere.
You guys have to carry that one. And